Hey everybody, it is Tiffany at A Different Chick Farm and Orchards, and Steve will be joining us shortly. But today we are doing a video on sunflowers. What we're going to do today is we are going to seed our sunflowers. Now, yes, most people do direct seed them. We have an issue with them not coming up when we direct seed them because of weather, dry, too wet, too cold, back and forth. But then we also have a habit of having birds come on our farm and trying to dig up the seeds and then eating them.
Groundhogs.
And groundhogs, yeah. So
rabbits.
So we are
neglect on our part by not keeping them watered.
Yeah. So we are going to seed them in our trays today, and we've got several different ones we're going to show you, and then we're going to transplant them once they come up into their permanent spots.
Just to give you an idea of why we do this. Our first year growing sunflowers, other than just growing one or two, I potted in a pot about this size. I potted probably, 24 that year?
Yeah.
Wasn't a lot. And probably 23 came up, and probably 18 made it after transplant, and that was severe neglect because I never went back and done anything but water them one time. So all of them made it almost. Last year, I direct seeded, year before last, I direct seeded probably 300 to 500 seeds, and we might have ended up with 100 sunflowers. Last year, we direct seeded probably 3,000 seeds, and we ended up with a handful of sunflowers.
Yeah, maybe like 5.
Was not good. So we're going back to pots. It's easier to direct seed, but results are results. And where the sunflowers end up isn't always an easy place to water. We're working on a little under 5 acres, and sometimes the sunflowers are in a spot that's just not ideal to get water to. And we're working on those situations. That's all things we're adjusting. But Tiffany is going to start potting some stuff. And we're going to start with our 98 tray. Now this is 98, just means it's got 98 of these cells. And these are pretty deep. Sunflowers grow quick, so you don't want something small. So Tiffany's going to start putting the soil in that, and then we're going to start planting. Now all we're using, when I say soil, we're using Daddy Peat Light Mix for this. And we also are using a blend that on some of these that is actually not available no more. It's a discontinued variety that we had a pallet of soil. I say soil, it's not soil. That we are using the last few bags of, so we are mixing back and forth between the two. But that's the 98 cell tray. And then we also have, I wished I had more of those. We would definitely use them. Or 72 cell is excellent. But these are 128s, and I have got several 128s that we can use. So most of ours are going to go into 128s. Now they can't stay in 128s as long, but they will be in there for a while.
And then we also have.
And this is a 72. This is a propagation tray that we use. It is a 72, correct?
Yes.
Yep. This is a 72. This is ideal. But we only have probably 8 of these on the farm, and they are all currently with this one tied up. Most of them have squash in them that we would have been seeding, putting into the garden today, but it rained last night. So now it's got to dry out before we go back out there. And then this will work also. Now, the downside to this is, sorry about that. It got trapped. Tiffany put the soil bag on it, I think. This is perfect also. This is a 50. The downside to this is it's a very deep propagation tray. So you're going to use lots of soil mix. Propagation mix.
And then you got to figure out how to plant them that deep.
Then you got to have that deep of a hole to plant them in. So it's a deeper hole you got to dig. And it's a 50. Now, if you're going to leave them in here just a little bit longer, this might be the right choice for you. But we're not. So we're not going to use the 50s. It's basically planting time for us on sunflowers, so we're going to get to rolling on them.
And then we also have.
Oh yeah, and this is this is probably something a lot of y'all are familiar with. These are 6-packs. This is called a 672, I think is what they call this, and that just means that it holds 72. So that's the ideal size. It holds 72 cells, so you can do 72 different sunflowers in it, and they're 6 per hole. So that's works out great in a 10-20 tray, and most of your local feed stores will probably carry this if they're a feed/farm store, and so this is real easy for everybody to get. It's a minimal expense, and if you're careful with it, you can even recycle it and use them again next year, clean them up. This is the first one I showed you. This is we call it a 3-inch pot. It's a 3-inch nursery pot. It's technically 2.5 inches, I think is what it is. But this works perfect. I just happen to be almost out of these because we used this same. We went through cases and cases and cases and cases of this year for our peppers and tomatoes. This is what we grow most of that stuff in. This is the next size up. This is a 3.5. We call it a 4-inch pot. It's a nursery pot, but technically 3.5 inches. And this is ideal for doing something like that, other than you're going to use a lot of soil. So I don't want to waste the soil because we're going to put these in the garden pretty soon. So if I was a little earlier on this, I would use this.
Now I do use that size, like on my Sunny Smile dwarf sunflowers that I sell. They only get like 12 to 18 inches tall. But now that's what size I use when I am selling them.
Yep.
That way it's perfect for the customer. They can stay in there a little while longer.
And we'll use this for the sunflowers that we're going to sell. Not all of these we're going to plant. So once they come up, they'll be transplanted into these pots. And the ones we're going to sell, the ones that's going to go into our garden, will come straight out of these trays and straight into the garden. Now this is also something you can use. These are, as you can see, basically the same at the bottom and basically the same at the top as these. But as you can see, there's a massive height difference. So it just gives you a little more sustainability. They can stay in the pot a little bit longer.
They are a bit hard to get a hold of. I have actually had those on back order now for 3 months. And they just came.
But if you happen to have them, you can use them. So now that we got all that aside, basically, like I said, something around the size of the 72 cell tray is ideal, but you can flex a little bit as long as you're ready to do the work, because if you're not ready to do the work, then you're going to end up with sunflowers that are too big for the pot that you're in. Okay, so Tiffany, let's talk about varieties.
Okay.
You can be ready to plant. Just leave that up there. That's what we're going to plant in. So this is actually a free seed from Baker Creek. Have we grown this variety? This is the Lemon Queen.
If we did, I don't know, but it looks like it's been open, so I'm sure we have.
Well, we seeded some stuff last year. It didn't make it. So
right.
Anyway, this is a free one from Baker Creek. It's Lemon Queen. I hope you can see that.
If you ever order seeds from Baker Creek, it's rareseeds.com. When you order seeds from them, they always send you freebies, which is always pretty interesting and great.
Tiff, would you walk over and make sure that they can see these when I hold them up and I'm not off camera? I don't want to be y'all thinking that I'm showing these to you and Tiffany just tripped over stuff in the floor and tried to tear everything down, but luckily everybody's alive still. But I want to be able to make sure that you can see these and enjoy the pictures and so forth.
Yes.
Of the varieties. All right. I just want to make sure. So this one is Orange Sun. So this is, in my opinion, just really beautiful. That's from Seed Saver Exchange. We have to, even on our flowers, unless we tell otherwise, we have to use organic or an organic approved seed.
It has to be absolutely 100% not treated.
It can't be any chemicals on the seed at all, which eliminates several companies out there that we would love to do business with, but their seeds are chemical treated, and we can't use them, we won't use them, we don't use them. Baker Creek Rare Seeds is a great one. Seed Savers is a great one to get off of. And then there's Botanical Interest. Some of their stuff is organic approved. And then Johnny's has some stuff that is not treated. You go always ask and question. But and then we got some stuff that we've saved over the years. So Tiffany's gonna start planting the Lemon Queen, and we'll move on from there. I'm gonna discuss some of these with you, and if one piques her interest, she can talk to you about it also. And then we got the Sun Gold Tall. And this Sun Gold Tall is just what I would call kind of a teddy bear look. It's that fuzzy looking sunflower. So pretty cool. Pretty cool.
On these Lemon Queens, they are several years old, like 3. Should I put 2 in there?
You can put 2. If you do, obviously, what we got to do, if we plant multiple seeds in a hole and 2 come up, you're going to cut 1 off.
Right. Sunflowers
will not handle you disturbing the roots. So it ain't a matter of you can pluck 1 out and replant it. If 2 come up, you're going to pick the stronger one and cut off the weaker one. So it's just survival of the fittest.
So what we do, I use a old Sharpie because you can imagine we go through a ton of Sharpies. So I use an old one that the ink has run out of, or that it just doesn't work very good anymore, or that it is so dull on the bottom that you couldn't write anything with it anyway. So I use that to just stick in that little hole, and round it out.
And whether she's figured it out yet or not, she's going too deep. These are only supposed to be planted a 1/2 inch deep, and she's making 1 inch deep holes. So she's going to have to fix that because the seeds won't. What happens if you plant your seeds too deep, they won't make it through the surface before they run out of energy, and they need that light. And some seeds need the light that transfers through the soil. You would think, well, there's no way light can go through that soil, but light does penetrate through the soil to a certain degree. And so some seeds have to have that. Okay, that's another package of our Orange Sun. And this is, and these are several years old, we know that. This is a Mongolian giant. And this sunflower isn't the prettiest in the world. It's basically all seeds.
But if you want sunflower seeds to eat,
it's great for
great
eating.
option.
Yep. And these get 12 to 14 foot tall. Obviously, you got to have the condition for them to make it there. And it's a huge, massive yellow head. They get up to 18 inches across the head. And this is a 90-day variety, so we'll be planting some of them. And then we have some of what I think is some of the prettiest ones are the ones like this. This is Evening Sun. And it's large flowers in shades of orange, red, and burgundy. And they have a very dark center, multiple heads, and they form multiple heads on the same stalk. And an extended bloom period make this a great variety for cutting. And they get 6 to 8 foot tall.
I just want to show you the difference.
Yeah.
These are the Mongolian giant sunflower seeds. So you can tell.
Them are over an inch long.
Them things are going to be good to eat. Now this one right here, I can tell I might as well not even plant it because it is already cracked and the seed is in there. But that is your typical sunflower kernel seed that you would eat. So now, that being said, you want to get me one of those other little seeds of one maybe that's open, and I'll compare the size. Plain basic sunflower.
This is Heirloom Beauties. That's the only trouble with botanical interest packages is you can't
rip them,
you can't
every
open
time.
them. They are hateful.
That little rubber cement glue works really well. More people should use it. So, That's a huge difference. You got this thing that is the size of 8 of those seeds. So you don't want to be eating those seeds, but they're really pretty. So if you want them for flowers and not for seeds.
Yeah, there's a
It's a great
difference in a
option.
sunflower for seeds and a sunflower, a regular sunflower, because you know it's some are more practical to eat. And this is just a mix. This is heirloom beauties, and it's a mix of multiple different colors and types of heirloom sunflowers. It's got a lemon queen in it, autumn beauty, and velvet queen. So just
So more of the lemon queen we just planted.
really, really pretty. Yep. And then we have autumn beauty by itself, and lemon queen by itself. And we have your classic teddy bear. These the plants only get about 2 feet tall. I thought teddy bear got a little taller than that. Okay, so they only get around 2 feet tall, 18 to 24 inches, but they have a 3 to 6 inch double head, and obviously deep yellow in color, almost what I would call orange, but they're deep yellow. And we have the Henry Wild.
I don't remember that one.
That's a classic heirloom, yellow petals, dark centers, perfect for cutting or planting along a fence or barn. So that's what I'll just call a classic yellow sunflower. And we have Irish Eyes. We have a double Sun King. We have Evening Sun. We have Fantasia.
Which one do you want me to do next?
We have Fantasia. I guess I pronounced that right and didn't butcher it too bad. This is a European selection. Very pretty colors.
Now, the Baker Creek seeds are supposed to have a minimum of 25 seeds. Now, sometimes they will like double that. Sometimes they will triple that. Sometimes they'll
this
be
one's
like
35 seeds.
sometimes they'll be right on target. So
35 seeds.
it looks like you got a whole lot more than 25 here.
35 seeds.
So
That's 35.
ah,
And here's a gold ring sunflower. That's a smaller sunflower, 3.5 to 4 inches across, and they get only 20 inches tall. Huh. That's a very dwarfing sunflower, Tiffany.
yep. We're always on the lookout for dwarfing sunflowers because we have customers that live in apartments or condos, and they can't have sunflowers outside, and nor could they have like a 6-foot flower, but they love sunflowers, so they can put them in a little pot. And I prefer varieties, of course, that branch off, which are great. So the little branching varieties that are dwarf are great for customers that have apartments and so forth, because they get those beautiful sunflowers, but they don't have to have the room for them. So
There's Red Sun. I think that is just a stunning variety. I'm sure I'm going to butcher this. Araucara. These are 10-foot tall plants, so they're from the Araucara Nation in North Dakota. So that's pretty cool. They're edible seeds. So you have to label these as edibles, Tiffany.
okay. How many are you wanting of all these varieties? Obviously, the Mongolian Giant Lemon Queen, I already did all of those that they had, but this is another Lemon Queen. So do we want to save any of them or just plant them all?
Plant one more roll.
Okay. I have 2 already.
Oh, okay,
So
just do 2. You got them. Oh, you. Yeah.
there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, do all 5 rolls. I thought you already had 5. Is what I thought. And then we got gold coin. Ooh, that's a pretty one. Tall Orange Sun. That is beautiful.
You didn't happen to steal my lemon cream package, did you?
Yep.
Okay.
We have Velvet Queen. Some more Autumn Beauty. Some more Lemon Queen. And then we have Sunspot Dwarf. That'll be another one we'll be experimenting with this year. I think we already discussed that one. Not sure if we discussed Velvet Queen. That's a really pretty one. And then we have, from Johnny's, we have a Mexican sunflower. We'll get Tiffany on planting these Henry Wilds. She can finish her tray out with them. And then we have, I don't know if these are the same variety. Look like they are different. The Johnny's is a Tithonia. And then we have from Seed Savers, we have a Torch Mexican sunflower.
They do look like the same thing when I pulled them up.
Very similar. And then we have a giant primrose sunflower. And that is like, man, that's yellow. And then we have an Aztec Sun sunflower. So,
for me, I prefer the funky little sunflowers, like the multicolored in there. I don't really prefer the plain yellow. But there's a lot of people who like just plain yellow sunflowers. So we have to grow a variety of all.
I like a little bit of all the above. Now this one, these seeds are old. We've been saving these for a while. This is a giant green sunflower. So can't give you a picture. You have to look it up on Google. So I think that's what we've got in sunflowers for the year.
Yeah, those sunflowers actually originally came from Greece. So, long time ago.
So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this has taught you something. Obviously, sunflowers like temperatures above 60 degrees. So that's another reason why we don't want to put them outside right now. We're still dipping into the 40s at night for about another 7 to 10 days. So we'll go ahead and get these seeded. And in 10 days, they'll be up. And so we'll be almost 2 weeks ahead of the game. And so we'll go and then we'll get them planted as soon as they're ready to go out into the garden. That way we can enjoy them. And all Tiffany is doing is lightly pressing this soil down. She's not packing it in. She's just pressing it down. That way the sunflower has to fight just a little bit to push its way through the soil. It makes for stronger plants if they have to work just a little bit. Now there's a few varieties of stuff out there that can't push through, but sunflowers is one of those that they're strong, hardy plants, and so you give them room to work. So Tiffany's got us labeled. She's got us ready to roll on these.
Got my date on there, so I'll know when I seeded them. And each variety.
So with that being said, y'all be sure to like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. It helps us bring you content because we know what you're looking at and liking. We've got some videos right now that have started to soar on our channel and are gaining ground fast. So we appreciate you watching them. And hopefully you liked this one, and hopefully it taught you something. Oh, and be sure to water your sunflowers, obviously, seeds. You got to keep them moist. If they don't stay moist, they're not going to germinate. So, all right, we'll see y'all later. Take care.